Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been a little while since I posted a video, but we're back. So tonight all we're going to be doing is we're going to be cleaning up a differential. We're going to be cleaning up a Dana 80. So y'all have seen my black Cummins. It's 2500. It's got the Dana 70 in the back right now, but I wanted something with a little more meat. And I wanted to do something a little different. So what we're going to do is we are going to be dually swapping the Cummins. Sorry if neighbor's running a planer for wood. If that tears up the audio, I guess I'll have to fix it. But so today, or tonight, I guess since it's dark, we are working on this bad boy. It's a Dana 80 out of an 01.5, 25 or 3500, excuse me. Big old drum brakes and everything like that. Got the 354 rear end ratio and everything like that. So today we're just going to be taking off the diff cover and then giving her a little clean up and seeing if there's anything we need to buy parts wise before it goes in the truck. So baby steps. Stay tuned. First thing before we get too far into this, one, I like to stop at this top bolt. Essentially I call it top dead center, and then I rotate around in a clockwise manner like that, and I line up all the bolts because I want them to go in the same holes just in case threading's off in one, it doesn't screw up another one. So first thing I did was I removed this drain plug. This drain plug's got a magnet on the back end of it. Differential fluid looks really freaking dirty, like really dirty, so that's not the best sign. But I do that just to see if there's any big metal chunks rolling around in there so far. So it does look good. It hasn't been stripped out. It got a lot of grime on the outside, but that's probably just auxiliary oil and everything like that. So once we get all these bolts off, I'll go ahead and check back in with y'all. To get these bolts off, you're gonna need a, if that'll focus, 9/16. I use a short well with a extension because short well, in my opinion, seats better on bolts like this, especially ones with a small head, because they only go on about ½ inch. You do not want to strip them. I use the extension as like a handle for one hand, and then I got one hand on the ratchet. For axle identification, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see that too well, but you say 3.54 right here, and the 5.4 is in yellow painting. This little bracket right here sets right there, and so that's a stock bracket, and that says all these numbers have a purpose, but just for now we'll focus on the 3.54, and that's the rear pinion gear axle ratio. So when you hear people talk about 373, 392, 411 gears, 355s, that's what it's talking about. So this one's got 354s, and we're going to upgrade it to a 411. I'm noticing a lot of this white film on these screws as I'm taking them out, and this screw just solidified my suspicions, and this diff cover at one time has been replaced because they didn't replace it with a factory gasket. They replaced it with a liquid setting gasket that sets real hard, and you can sort of see it on the top right there where it sort of bubbles out around that corner above that screw, and we got some right there. So could mean it's got some new gears in it, or unfortunately what I've seen before is people break open a rear axle and they realize that it's going to be expensive to fix it, and then they just throw a quick seal on there because it's cheap and easy, and they just bolt it back up. So fingers crossed that's not the situation we're in right now. So now that we got all our bolts out and everything like that, you can see a little bit of fluid coming out, and it is jet black. So 90% of the time these diff covers will not fall off on you. You're going to have to pry them off a little bit. You'll need a small hammer and a chisel or a flathead screwdriver, and in my case, since I can't find my hammer, a fencing tool. Be real careful not to screw up your diff cover on the outside. Just give her a little tap, pry it open with that flathead screwdriver. I don't know why I can't think of that. Shoot. And then it'll come off nice and easy. Put your catch pan down underneath and to catch all your fluids, because this stuff will make a mess and it's hell to clean up if you don't have some cat litter or you don't have dirt on hand to soak it up. So unfortunately I can't do this with one hand, so we'll check in as soon as I get that cover off. Alrighty, here we go. Couple of taps with that little fencing tool and she's off. Trying to hold this. Oh, there we go. Sorry y'all can't see that right now. There's all that fluid. It is very, very old. It's almost burnt and you can smell it. Or you can't, but I can. Let's take a look here. Yeah, this, I'm not seeing any abnormal wear. The gears still look good, but it is very old. You probably have to cycle through this 2-3 times to get it all cleaned up. Then we'll just rotate, look through the gears. If you got any chipping or anything nasty on this pinion gear, you're definitely going to want to replace it. I'm not seeing anything right now. It's too bad. You can see that it's been sitting for a little while. Spider gears look good. Still nice and shiny, but shiny don't mean everything. So if you were going to put a Positrack locker in one of these or anything like that, you're going to want to start with taking off these 4 bolts right here. Not sure exactly what size they are, I can't remember, but take those off, and then from there be able to disassemble this, rotate this, take it off every now and again, or every bolt, and then you'll be able to take out your pinion gear and everything like that. And then this whole assembly will come out, and then you throw your locker in there with your pinion gear around it. So this is what we're going to replace. That's what we're going to replace with the 411. That's the 354 right now. I told you guys earlier, I'm reinforcing my beliefs that this was replaced. And if you're going to do a differential cover removal and replacement, do yourself a favor and do the folks a favor after you sell your vehicle, and buy the gasket. Pay the extra money and buy the gasket, because then if you don't, you have problems like this. This gasket comes off. So that was all on the inside of the casing. As you can see, it's covered in that rear end fluid. And I found a ton of this in the bottom of this differential. You can see pieces of it right, if it'll focus. You can see pieces of it right there in the middle of your screen. All this nastiness. Focus, come on. There we go. And it's all around the inside. So this right now, it honestly smells like burnt vinegar. I don't know if y'all know what that smells like, but it's quite unpleasant. And I think it's because all this junk that was on the inside of the casing got in there, got hot, and burn off. But if it's sealed correctly, it doesn't have anywhere to go, unfortunately. So I'm gonna end up removing all this and cleaning her up, because it's covered in, this stuff is nasty. It's like a sludge. So to be continued. Obviously I'm not to this step yet, but when it comes time for you to put your differential cover back on, what you want to do is go around both faces on your differential and on your differential cover. Clean up. I got some rust right there on the inside of the plate where it wasn't fully sealed. You're gonna want to clean all that off and clean off all that junk, all that extra RTV or whatever type of liquid sealant they used, and any old gasket, because sometimes gaskets can come off. But what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to clean up around the edges on both sides before you put your cover back on, because if you don't, then it might hinder its ability to fully seal, and then that's how you get leaks, and then you run out of fluid if you don't check it and then that's when your rear end locks up, and that's not good in any language. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean all that off. I might be going with a high capacity aftermarket diff cover. We'll see, for a little extra fluid, a little extra coolant and all that jazz. Not 100% certain. I like how these look stock. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that cleaned up, and then I'll show you the rest of the parts that I've got. We're all cleaned up. Still a little dirty, but a whole hell of a lot better than what it used to look like. Outside still gnarly looking. Still toying with the idea of whether or not I want to paint that. But as you can see, all sorts of cleaned up. There was a whole lot of, let's see, now you can't really see it, but this stuff was damn near cased on the inside. It was pretty gnarly. So it's all cleaned up now. Gonna do a little bit more sprucing around the edges, get it ready to go back on, and then get me a gasket and we'll throw it back on. Alright guys, so next step, I guess last step for tonight, having to cut it short a little bit early too. But next step will be cleaning out all the old fluid and all that nasty junk that's up there. I've already checked, they're not metal, so that's good. We're gonna be just cleaning all this up. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna be taking everything apart, but we're gonna take care of everything, clean it all up, get it all pretty, ready to go in the 98. Next video, we're gonna take apart the brakes and inspect all the lines and everything like that. I'm gonna take the rear sway bars off and everything. I'm gonna get some shocks for it. I just can't get over how good that turned out. Shoot. And then we're gonna start fitment on all this. So there's your U-bolts, there's my leaf springs, old shocks, and all the bolts to go with it and everything like that. Got both of them. Both of them came with the axle, which was really nice. And hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll get her on the truck and we'll be in working condition. But yeah, next video is going to be brakes and springs and getting everything all gasketed up and bushed up and everything like that and ready to go. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Not the best video quality, not the best, mechanic ability, but I'm trying. So thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time.